Yeah, man, I'm literally just working out this morning. Got some Spotify in. I'm listening to the Discover thing. It's Monday, weekly Discovery. All of a sudden, this dude starts rapping about cream pie and yandere bitches. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I look at it, it says hentai bitch, and I was like, why is this so good? I ended up sending it to you, Blake, and I'd be like, you gotta be honest, like, it's really funny, great bars, and then also, like, it's catchy. Like, they did a great
Dude,
job.
super catchy. I'm like working today. I'm just like bumping that. That was fucking tight. Very good find.
Dude, the what is it, rent a girlfriend line? I thought you'd really appreciate that one. That was pretty hard.
Naturally. That was close to home. Yeah, dude, that's a bar. That's what I'm talking about.
But dude, that was absolutely amazing. I don't know why Spotify did that. Like, I thought you're supposed to look at at the music I listen to and recommend me stuff on that, not look at my goddamn search history. Like, get the fuck off my internet.
Well, I guess we've all got our own reasons for being here.
Like,
Dude, it was that kind of Monday. That kind of energy all day today for sure.
oh my god, gone to the grocery store, had it on full blast. But I mean, yo, boys, welcome back to episode 18 of the TheCasualWeebs podcast. I hope you guys are having good podcast. Listen, it's a great week, but a sad week. So not only do we have one season finale, we had two, and then a third. Well, a surprise third, because I don't think anyone really kind of knew that Demon Slayer would be ending this week. I thought we knew it would be close, but I mean, holy shit! Did Kaiju 8, did Windbreaker both end on like a massive note? I mean, what great episodes, and both of them are confirmed for season 2. Let's go!
Fuck yeah.
Yo, I'm hyped. Demon Slayer came out. They ended their season as well with a bang, literally, at the mansion. Like,
Yeah. Well done.
and then they confirmed the trilogy of the movies. And honestly, we talked about this last podcast episode. I think that's going to be awesome. I think having them be movies is going to be really top tier animation, and then also we're experiencing this end to a series, a beautiful series, together in theaters. You know what I mean? And you're getting everyone's reactions, you're getting the hype, you're getting the atmosphere along with it. So I think it's for the better, and I actually think it means that it'll come out sooner. Because I feel like animating a movie is a bit easier than animating a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely like a different style, I think. And like a lot of the work is already done. Like you have the manga, you know what I mean? You have the
Mm-hmm.
story in front of you. I'm sure they'll add scenes and bits and pieces, but for me, like I think obviously like the highlight of the episode is like you said, the animation, the explosion. Guillaume gets involved and like that the animation with him like using his I don't even know what you would call that. The flail?
Yeah, I
I don't
forget
even
like what that weapon's called, but like actually seeing him fight was like holy shit.
Yeah, it's like I feel like this episode answered all the questions. Like that was super sick. But well, in these movies, I feel like it'll be a little probably easier and faster the process, but we'll get like higher quality in some of the fights, which I feel like is what we're all looking for. So I feel like the trilogy really has me excited, and Fate did it really well. So that's another UFO table kind of like same style anime. You know what I mean? I think they should crush it. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and especially because like you're breaking up into three movies, so you don't have to like you can like spread it out more. You're not rushed to like cram a bunch of stuff into one season, have that season be like longer, and then try to make up like, get it prepared and ready every single week. Instead, you have the time to actually like create the entire movie. It's broken up a bit better, so hopefully it's not too much for them to animate. But yeah, dude, let's first start off with Windbreaker because Demon Slayer was a 40-minute finale, so we are going to be diving into that.
Yeah, Windbreaker was sick. I definitely like looking back to last week. We were both like, "There's no way this season can end this way." We were kind of maybe disappointed that that would have been the end, but they definitely pulled me back in. I feel like this was a really good finale, and like obviously season two gets announced, but now I'm like really looking forward to it. We have like a concrete direction that the story's kind of going in. We're kind of focus on the first years maybe in this fight and see how that goes, but we know exactly what we're gonna get in season two, and that definitely has me excited.
Yeah, I'm like kind of pissed off by that, boys, because like we were right. We're like no way that this ends on that note. And like I searched it 3 times, and it's like oh yeah, just episode 12. That's it. No more. It's only episode 12. And then it dropped 13. Like I actually wasn't even expecting that. I was like oh okay yeah it's not coming out. And then I saw like a reel or a short, and it had the guys with the blue. It had Keel like their like uniforms. I was like who the fuck are they? And then like I was
Oh
like, oh my
shit, we didn't
god.
see this
I was
yet.
like, but
Yes.
yeah, absolutely insane. I absolutely love it. I think it was great. I think it really kind of like it's insane how in one episode they really threw Sakura into more of that leadership position. Like they threw him into it like last episode, like the one prior, but like this one he felt like he looked good in it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, you know what? It seems like he really knows what he's doing. Like he's gonna be a great leader.
Definitely. And I feel like more I'm like glad we had episode 12 and that wasn't the end of the season because it did a good job of kind of like laying the political landscape of Furin. You know, we meet the four kings in this episode and kind of like see the different classes and groups within those classes. Like you can kind of meet all the major players at Furin, which I think was cool. But you're exactly right. Sakura definitely stepped up this episode and was like really willing to be the leader, even though he wasn't like, volunteering himself to be the captain of the class. He definitely took it upon himself to figure out what's going on and take it upon himself to solve it. And obviously, everybody hears it because they're terrible liars and they're like, they show every emotion.
Yeah.
But like the class is super unified, and that scene we get as they're walking out to kind of close the season out was really, really sick. Definitely had me pumped.
Bro, there's like some like really funny moments as well. Cause like, dude, when Sakura was talking to that one girl who was crying, just like at the end of it, like it was so emotional. She's talking about like her friend and kind of everything that's going on. He's like, okay, like I hope, and she starts crying. He starts feeling weird. She's like wow, like I'm really hungry. He's like pulls his
He's
food away. And he's like, you're not allowed
like,
to
you're
have
not
any.
getting any. That's like awkward. She's like, oh yeah, I didn't want any. That was so good.
Bro, that had me dying. So it was like you see like Sakura's growing a lot, but you see like he's still Sakura. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, like he still made like the faces he makes trying to like literally just say leave it to me. Like he can't just like come off and be cool. He's like so awkward at times. It's
yeah,
awesome.
he's like leave it, leave it, leave it to me. And she's like, what?
Okay.
He's like,
But
okay.
it's cool to see like kind of how he's growing and like even though he's forced to be in some of these interactions and like the shopkeeper lady at the what were they eating? The Monja place, which is actually like super fucking amazing. It's like beef tongue and like cheese and
Beef
stuff.
tongue?
Yeah, and it literally looks exactly like a tongue.
That does not sound amazing.
I promise it's delicious though. It's very, very good.
I'll
So like
take
the
your
whole
word for
time
it.
I'm like reminiscing. I'm like, oh yeah, that meal was good. But like that the scene where they're in there and they're like kind of it kind of shows us that click in the first years. Kind of like the main players. They're like their interactions are so funny. They're like, yeah, Sakura, he'll believe anything. He's like, both you meet me outside. And the
Bro,
shopkeeper lady, like, she's like, oh, you guys are like my kids, and he's just like, just can't take that normally. It's
yeah.
so funny.
The both of you beat me outside is priceless. That's so funny. But that's like what I was saying like I think multiple episodes ago. Whereas like it's nice that Sakura's character is still staying true to himself. Where it's like someone's like, hey, like you wanna go? He's like, yeah, like let's go. You know what I mean? It's not like he's like warming up to this place and he's like, oh, he's this friendly, soft guy now. Like he's got that side of him where like he can't handle certain like emotions and like praise, but like he still wants to fight. He's still that guy who's like, okay, like let's go. Like I want to fight. Like let's do this. You know what I mean? So his first resort like there was like it was still really nice to see and still very funny. Where he's like let's go. Like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of both of you.
Yeah, I love that about his character, and like, you're right, he hasn't really softened up in this first season, which I like. I hope he keeps that edge, and I'm sure we'll see him become more like receptive to like affection and praise and stuff. But I feel like he'll always kind of have that edge about him, which is hard not to love.
Yeah, and like I still want to see him like fight some of these guys. You know what I mean? I know they're on the same team here, but like I want to see how they match up. You know what I mean? I want to see those rankings. Okay, like we saw Sugar whatever his name is. But like that was awesome. Like that was sick. I want to see little interactions like that. Like especially like kind of like boys being boys. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of roughhousing, not like straight up fighting. Like it would be cool to kind of see
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. And I think that we're going to like when soccer warms up to them more. You know what I mean? Because we already kind of saw that when he first was introduced to the class and they grabbed him like, oh man, look who's back. You know what I mean? When they came back from the Shistoran arc and like stuff like that. So I can't wait to see more interactions with him in the class and especially him start to face off with the class. Not like against them, but like you know what I mean? Like start to spar. You know, because he did say he wants to go against Sua and he wants to see how that would go. So I'd love to see how he'd match up against some of their fight styles.
yeah, it would be cool to kind of get that like power structure in a way and give us a more concrete like location of where Sakura is because we know he's strong, but like everybody in Furin and even like the class 1 people are really strong. So like it would be cool to get like a training arc or some kind of like
Well,
you know,
yeah,
like bonding where they do spar at least.
that's what I'm saying. Like, why I want to see him against like the year ones and the year twos because like he took on Shistoran's number two, so that means he's on the fighting level of the third years at Furin. You know what I mean? I want like confirmation on that because like Togami, like isn't some pushover. Like that guy is strong. So like
Very true.
I want to see that kind of be shown more like with like in Furin. You know what I mean? I kind of want to see like wow is like Sakura really like a third year level of strength? You know what I mean? I kind of want to see him like one of the second years kind of test them. And speaking of the second years, it was really cool how like his class kind of like realized because like these guys are terrible at lying and like okay like let's go and they start walking out. I loved seeing the second years looking like what the fuck are they doing? And
Like, yo, what is that?
you can just tell Sakura's class is going to be a handful.
Yeah, it's like cool how they look out for each other, but like I did like that the class ones are like, yeah, let's just walk out of school and go fucking meet these kids and fight. Like it's the definition of like on site. But it was cool to finally like at the end of the season see how like united they are, and they are like a pretty tight group despite not really having too much time together.
Oh yeah, no time together at all. It's been like a week, if that. Like in the anime, it's been less than a week, I think, because they went and foster Thornton on like day two of school.
Yeah, like immediately like getting in the mix here. So like
Yeah,
I feel like that was pretty cool, but it's nice to have like a good group, but it'll be cool to see them kind of like evolve and kind of going back to like just their each different personalities and different fight styles. It would be cool to see those styles clash because like somebody like Sakura versus Suo, you know what I mean? They're so like different stylistically. It would be cool to see that fight.
yeah, and you kind of see how they match up because like it's not saying like one person's like stronger than the other, but like certain techniques, like have like is like a kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like Suo might not be stronger than Sakura, but his fighting style might give him an advantage. You know what I mean? So like seeing those kind of
Yeah,
interactions, but then like in a situation like that where if like that's going to happen in the anime, you know that Sakura is going to take like stuff from that fight and then and like adapt it and put it into his fight style. So like seeing them fight off against each other and seeing that interaction and see how the fight styles like pair up would be cool. And then to see them kind of like build off of each other, that kind of stuff would be awesome.
yeah. I feel like they could all teach each other a lot, especially like the older, you know, the second, third, and fourth years. Like they could really teach Sakura's class a lot. And like I'm sure they all have a lot more experience, but Umemiya even kind of says that to the leader of the second class. I forget his name. Um, but like make sure you teach them the things you wish you knew in your first year. So I'm sure we will have some kind of like, you know, conversation or like hangout where they do kind of pass along some wisdom or information about others or schools and gangs and stuff. But I do look forward to some of that stuff in season two.
Yeah, dude, I'm amped. I mean, listen, we got season two, boys. That's all we needed. All right, we were so worried about that, and season two is coming. So, I mean, we thank the anime gods. Thank you. So, that was
Very relieved
absolutely
to hear
awesome.
that because
But
I feel like we knew Kaiju was getting another season. Like that's was
like, they
not
have
in
a video
question.
game. They have like
Yeah,
everything. You know what I mean? Like,
they announced the video game before season two. I'm like, yeah, we're definitely locked in. And I feel
yeah,
like it's just too popular. But yeah, thank you for another season of Windbreaker.
bro. But we were right about Windbreaker, wrong about Kaiju number eight. My whole Shinomiya idea of that she'd be put in jeopardy, and then Kaku would be like, "Oh no," and then save her, and then it's like that whole yeah, that did not
We
happen.
weren't that far off though. I the whole time I'm just like, I want to be right. I want to see director Shinomiya get his ass kicked, and I feel like he kind of did, but
It kind
it
of
was a
did.
very
He did.
it
At
was
the
a
end,
dude. He was getting ragdolled at the end. I'm like, yes, let's
bro,
go.
when I tell you the air left my lungs when I saw Kafka have him in the hand, I'm like Kafka, like it's okay, like turn back, you know what I mean? And then he
It was like
grabs
an
him
emotional
and then just
episode.
bashes him against I like seriously the air left my lungs. I was like, holy fuck! And then his pants to Shinomiya and she had the same reaction. I'm like, me and you both, girl. Like I hope he doesn't die. Like, but that's gonna be the end of Kafka. He's gonna get executed for that shit. Like, bro, like you can't slip. Like fight back. You got to take control again, bro. That scene was insane.
The whole fight was really really cool. Like just watching them go at it, go like blow for blow with the punches was really sick. But like once Kafka kind of started fading, and like the thing that did it for me was like we've seen all the other kaiju do it, but he finally like expanded in size, got like way bigger, and then he turned like from green to red. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely getting very bad.
Yo, yeah, that red like uh outline or detail on him looked sick. But we actually saw him in the very
So
first
cool.
episode when he turned into a kaiju that he transformed into something else. Remember that? He transformed into that weird monster looking thing. They're running away from the
Yeah,
hospital. So like we do know that Kafka can transform and can change the form of his
that's right.
body. But yeah, having that like next level or that like next phase in fighting him where he takes it to a whole nother thing, like that's gonna be insane. Honestly, I still don't think we've even seen that. I feel like there's way more in the tank for him.
Yeah, they really like I felt like teased us these last couple episodes because like they started to show some of the abilities, but like we really didn't get that much like fight time where
Well,
Kafka was like or the Kaiju was really going all out. Like it gets pretty ugly pretty quick.
dude, Kaiju 8 can fucking fight. Like we were talking about, like, oh, it's so great because like Kafka's like super intelligent. He knows all about the kaiju, and then he's got like this power, so it kind of helps him keep up with the strong fighters. Like Kaiju 8 could fight. Like the fact that he moved his core to then regenerate and used his
That
body as a
was
decoy,
sick.
that was fucking insane. I was like, holy shit! I'm like, yo, this is not like you don't fuck around. Like you don't fuck around. This is amazing. Like wow, like this is if Kafka could actually fight. Like imagine how this is gonna like turn out later. Like Kaiju 9 doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, dude, it was so sick to kind of see some of those moves. The like removing his core and then like the way he regenerated, that was really sick. I feel like they just barely have like scratched the surface with like the abilities that the kaiju have. So I'm definitely excited to see what is like next for the kaiju, but also like to see how Kafka grows and kind of keeps pace with everybody else. Because you know, like Reno, Ichikawa, um, and like all the other people in Division 3, even if they separate, they're gonna get stronger. They're gonna like change a little bit. And we met the leader of Squad 1.
Yo, he looks
Again,
sick. He looks sick.
I saw his like face in the manga. He looked way more badass. Everyone's like, yeah, please fix that for season 2. But like, I thought he looked really sick.
Bro, I thought he looked tough. I saw a picture from the manga too. It was like when I saw like the orientation of like where everyone's at like formation wise, I saw his name at the top. And that picture was from the manga, and like, dude, he looked so cool. He looks insanely strong too. But like speaking of like platoon leaders and stuff like that, it was nice seeing the ones from Division 3 also worried about Kafka when they came into the weight room and they're like,
Yeah,
yeah, guys, like no work's getting done today. We're all gonna be worrying about him, and everyone's just working out, just waiting to hear what's gonna happen. I thought that that was really cool and really sweet because we like from Kafka's like the cadets that were with him and stuff. Like that's understandable, like why they worry about him because like you've seen all the interactions with Kafka and them and all those good times. But like seeing like the platoon leaders and like people that were higher up like be like genuinely worried about him also shows just the impact that he had in that division and also just how great of a guy he is. Where like he left a lasting impact where like people are like genuinely worried about him, even though like he's a goddamn kaiju. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like
He's
those platoon leaders didn't have like a bunch of time with him. We're like talking all the time, and like they just find out he's like a kaiju, and they're like, "Damn, I hope that guy's okay." Like that just shows like how good of a person he is and how much of an impact he makes on people.
it was a cool scene because like I don't know, I feel like that's a very relatable thing to do, especially if you're in like the military or whatever. Like, you know, you're stressed out or pissed off, you got shit going on. Like, yeah, it's just like pump iron, let's lift weights, and like
Bro,
everybody's kind of stressed, but like they're still hitting the weights. It was like a cool scene.
my chat fucking bullied me for that. I the stream was like broken the one day, and I was stressed the fuck out trying to fix it. It was an absolute mess, and I ended up fixing it, hopping on, and people were like hopping in chat, and like we're like talking and stuff, and it was brought up like I was like yeah, like boys, like when you get like pissed off, I just like do push ups. Like if I'm like
Yeah,
really
hell
like
yeah.
pissed off or like aggravated, like I'll just go like do pull ups or something because it'll just wear you down, and then you don't have the energy to be upset anymore, and it's like it's perfect. And then at the same time, you're helping build some muscle. Like I feel like that stuff is like so effective. But like I got fucking grilled for that, boys. See, I should be in the division
No way,
force,
dude.
defense force. I'd be
You
fit
gotta
right
get with it,
in.
chat. You gotta get with it, chat. You'll never be pissed if you can plank for like 3 minutes. If you get upset, go plank or like do crunches or whatever.
Oh,
Be
dude,
yeah,
planking. Just cry in a corner instead. I hate
yeah,
planking.
exactly. You remember the phantom chair? They used to make us do that in school.
Oh my god! And then you put the weights on your legs.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my god, that stuff's great.
yeah, right.
If you really want to hate yourself, that kind of stuff's great. But yeah, see that kind of stuff in the military, with like them just working out, and like again the need to just become stronger. And you see it with Ichikawa a ton, where he feels so like much pressure and so much guilt, where he thinks it's his fault because he wasn't strong enough, and then because he wasn't strong enough, Kafka had to transform, which is such a stupid thing because I mean, how
Yeah.
strong do you need to you're never gonna be strong enough to be able to do what Kafka did with that nuke. You know what I mean? I get it, but he's got to go a bit easier on himself, but
And
seeing
he
that,
saved everybody. It wasn't like it was a one-on-one type thing where like
yeah,
with Shinomiya, and not to say she fucked up, but like he saved her directly. Like he saved everybody with that like kaiju nuke.
yeah. So but seeing that him still have that chip on his shoulder, it's kind of cool too, and seeing that it's going to be the common theme throughout the entire series with Ichikawa.
Yeah, dude. Like I feel like they've done a really good job of giving us enough with each character that you can really like enjoy them and like you have a good cast. And I liked how Mina kind of sums it up in front of like the brass for the defense
Dude, her
force. She like touches
speech.
on, yeah, she does a really good job of touching on all the things that Kafka does outside of like his kaiju feats, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. Like, we've touched on it a few times over the last couple episodes, but like it was cool to have it like summarized. And like you said, all the other people in Division 3 were like really pulling for him too. And it just like kind of shows you how well written of a character he is too, to like kind of be this like goofy old dude with the fat tire, but like everybody still has like a ton of affection for him. And I mean, that's not to say he hasn't saved everybody's life, like once or twice or three times at this point.
Yeah, for real, dude. He saved quite a few people, and the one thing about her speech that kind of pissed me off is that she brings up his intelligence, that he got the information and the data about that first attack and relayed it to the troops to kind of help them. Like, oh, here's how to defeat them. Here's where the reproductive organs, stuff like that. And the one guy blew over there and he's like, oh well, he did all that because he had the kaiju form. Like, she just said he did something intelligent. How's that because he can turn into a kaiju? You completely missed those parts of it. You know what I mean? It just glazed over, and it's like, dude, those fucking typical old guys in the military that are just dumb as hell.
It's like such an easy trope to make, but I'm like, I fucking hate everybody on the defense force except for the director. Like, very well written. Way to
Yep.
go. But it
Very
shows you
well.
that like that disconnect between like whatever you want to call it, government or the big military industry and like the boots on the ground, the people who are actually like doing the work day to day. Because I don't remember seeing any of them motherfuckers when Kaiju number 9 showed up. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
number 10. It's always the defense force, but they did a good job kind of showing that contrast.
But you're right though, director Shinomiya is a fucking beast. I absolutely love him, and the fact that he was holding his own at that age, you know what I mean, against Kafka was insane.
Super
Insane.
sick. And like that shot in, I think guess it was the last episode. He's just like buff as shit, and they're like the strongest soldier of all time. I'm like, yeah, this guy fucking rocks.
Dude, even
Sick.
Shinomiya was like, yo, shit, my dad's really cool.
I love how she like juggles between calling him like Papa and then like director. It's like
Mm,
it's a tough situation for her, but yeah, he definitely earned my respect. And he was cool. He was the only like guy on the brass who was like fucking finally did what we said. Like, you have this amazing asset. Like, why don't you put it to work for you? And he's like, yeah, he'll fight for us.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
thank you. Somebody with a brain at the table.
Yeah, fucking for real. We've been saying this for how long? I
That's why
mean,
this guy's the director. Yeah.
yo, I mean, and dude, at the end when they're talking and Kafka falls asleep, mid conversation, fucking had me dying.
That was cool too. Like, you could tell he's exhausted. And he has this like hole in his chest pretty much, but like he finally like calls him his full name, calls him Kafka, which was kind of cool. Like, shows like a little bit of humility on the director's part. And like I feel like he took everything everybody said, Mina, Shinomiya, some, I guess he didn't see the Division 3 salute, but like he could tell he's well respected outside of being strong AF. So I think he kind of won him over. And the fact that Shinomiya likes him, I'm sure matters.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it helps because he can even tell his daughter's not the most sociable person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she
She's.
sucked in the beginning.
It's not that she sucks, but even now she's not social. You
She's
know
a
what I
little
mean?
awkward, I guess. Like Ichikawa and Kafka are like very outgoing, but she's almost like soccer in a way. Like she's when is the moment she's like uncomfortable or whatever, like she kind of like blushes or like she isn't as outspoken or whatever. But yeah, I mean she's a good character. I
Well,
definitely like
I
her.
think
But
she also
my
gets.
first impression, my first impression was like, she's a bitch.
I never thought that because like I feel like for her this it still stays true where like everyone looks at her it's like oh the great Shinomiya, oh my god, bless the ground she walks on, she's so amazing, we'll never, and like Kafka just treats her like a normal human being and she's probably tired of like the like hop off my dick, you know what I mean, like stop,
Very
like
true.
it's very annoying, like I'm a person, you know what I mean, so like I feel like there's that kind of still stands in the fact that like I feel like the director sees that like oh wow like one person's actually be able to get close to my daughter and actually like someone who's like very like guarded and kind of like distant kind of says a lot about that person, especially if she cares that much about him to go to bat for him. That's huge. And yeah, just seeing that whole conversation, Kafka falling asleep again, hilarious.
Yeah.
That conversation was great. How he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna make you respect me as an officer." I was like, what's up, man? Like that's sick, but at the same time, you just got your execution put off like 5 minutes ago. Like I wouldn't be
Take it
demanding
easy.
shit. I wouldn't be
Take it.
demanding shit.
Wait till you're out of the hospital first and like recovered, maybe.
Yeah, it is like
I,
demanding respect. Like, oh my god, bro, he's just asking for it. But like,
I feel like it was cool to see him ask that, or maybe not ask, but demand it, because it kind of touches on what you said and like Mina, the whole like emotional and intelligent part of Kafka outside of like his skill. I feel like is part of what makes people like him so much.
yeah, I completely agree. It's gonna be amazing. I think that season 2 of Kaiju 8 is going to just absolutely shatter everything. I don't think that there's anything that's gonna be bigger than it, and I don't think anything should be. And I'm talking about like the big animes now. Like I'm talking about like I feel like it's gonna triumph the Demon Slayer movies, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, like anything that's coming out, I feel like Kaiju 8 is gonna like, kind of like surpass because it is in the perfect spot. You had a season of build up that was nothing but phenomenal. It was fantastic. The characters amazing, the story amazing. This like everything is set up so well, and now it's in the perfect position where Kafka is known by the military for being a kaiju. So now we're going to see his powers. You know what I mean? Now we're going to see him actually fight in combat. Well, they actually might hold him off, you know what I mean, to like help like not have the world like the city destroyed and stuff, and like you want to make sure people don't spot them. Although they do evacuate every area before they fight in it. Um, but like I think that that's going to be amazing now. How we can see Kafka's intelligent side and also his fighting side. Both. Instead of just like oh he's mainly being intelligent, but like every now and then maybe get a little thing where he can do something cool. I feel like we're going to see a lot of both, and I feel like it's going to be a lot more just pure fighting now because now it's not the buildup of him getting into the military. Now he's in there, he's known, he's accepted, and it's kind of like, hey, go, kill them all, and we're like, fuck yeah, let's do it, boys. Like I feel like it's
It'll,
really gonna take off.
yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes. I just did a quick Google and it said they adapted the first 33 chapters, and I think there's like around 110, 20 somewhere in there. So I feel like you have like a lot of source material to work with for season 2. So hopefully we get like a big chunk of that. And we're kind of done with like the intro and meeting a lot of people. Obviously, you'll meet new characters in season 2, but not to the volume that we did literally in the first season of this anime. So it'll be cool to see how far we get in season 2.
Do you know when season 2 is gonna be coming out? I know for
Now, I don't think
Windbreaker it's next year.
I didn't hear a release date, but it's going to be the same production company. So I'd imagine they're already working on it, or
They are.
they just keep working on it. All right, cool.
It
So
says they're already
yeah,
working on it.
probably next year, maybe
When will
winter.
Kaiju 8 season 2 premiere? As previously stated, likely would have been included in the season 2 announcement alongside. Okay, so season 2, it was signed in season 2. It's expected to premiere in 2025 at the earliest. So not
I
this
could see
year,
that.
boys. Fuck.
I'm like, oh yeah, winter. Like it didn't just turn fucking July 1st today.
Like, yeah, it could happen. It could. We could hope.
And
You know what I
it
mean?
depends how far they are, and like I don't know, like to the extent, we'll just say 50 chapters for simplicity's sake. I don't know what those 50 chapters has animation
Yeah,
wise.
there's
You know
gonna
what
be
I
a
mean?
lot
Like
of fighting. Like I said, I feel like it's going to get pretty insane animation wise. But also, by the way, before we even move past this, Kaiju 10's still alive, is he not? What was that at the end? I feel like
Kaiju number 9.
no, yeah, Kaiju number 9, and he was talking to
Who the
something.
fuck was he talking to though?
Is that not Kaiju 10? I think
I
that's
thought
Kaiju
Kaiju.
10.
I thought he died in that like explosion.
So I'm thinking it's Kaiju 10
We
for
questioned
two
that, right? We
reasons.
don't.
Yeah, we
It
questioned
wasn't
it.
confirmed that he was dead.
Because we were like, it's kind of like bullshit. You know, you bring out like Kaiju 10 and it's what, 2 episodes of a fight and now he's gone. That's it. You know what I mean? So we're
Yeah,
like, is he really dead? And then in that scene at the end, I'm going off 2 things that make me think it's Kaiju 10. First of all, it's maroon color. That's it. It's like a dark red. I feel like they're both
hard to
dark red.
hard to.
They're the same
It's a good
color.
start. Yeah.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Hell yeah,
But then
exactly.
number two, he said, "Good job getting the layout of the base." Well, Kaiju 10 just attacked the
That's who
base.
invaded the
You
base.
have all those things that were all over the place, you know, doing damage, or were they getting the layout? You know what I mean? Were they really just attacking random areas, but they were like really kind of looking at the layout? Here's how everything's drawn out. Here's like all of that, and like gathering data as they were fighting. Because then he got them to retreat. You know what I mean? So it was like,
Hmm.
I feel like that was kind of the plan to then go in stealth and then do more damage. So I feel like that was Kaiju 10, and that also means that Kaiju 9 and Kaiju 10 are working together.
Which like is totally unheard of, I guess, as far as like all the intel we have in this world, even though it's a brief, you know, 12 episodes.
Yeah.
That's like pretty foreign idea to them. I mean, we've only had 10 named kaijus. I have a pretty good idea of what I think will happen. I think they will continue to work together. I don't know, like judging from like number 9 playing chess with like a million people, which I thought that was a really sick scene. He's also got this like the biggest monitor of all time. He's also a tech guy, sounds like.
Oh,
But
you
like
were
he's
jealous
playing.
of the monitor, weren't you?
Yeah, it was. He's got a sick setup for a kaiju, you know.
You're like, if only it was curved.
It's not curved. Mine's nicer. But that was cool, like seeing him like pull together like the giant layouts of like the city and like the base and stuff. Like, just goes to show you like how intimidating and how smart Kaiju number 9 can be. So I'm like interested to see if he'll be like the mastermind and 10 will work under him and just kind of do his bidding, or to the level we'll see these named Kaiju like arrive in season 2. Because we only got, I mean, we got 3, but one of them obviously is Kafka.
Well, that's what is really scary is that like you have that mastermind in Kaiju 9 and you know the ability to create kaiju and biologically, you know, alter them is pretty
Yeah,
insane, and then you're
true.
mixing that with the firepower from Kaiju 10. That's a pretty deadly combo. But honestly, I think Kaiju 8 has that in the bag. After seeing him with director Hoshina, and especially if Hoshina gets back on the line, on the front line, like whoo, who are those
That'd
two
be
together?
sick.
Like, damn, Kaiju 10 wouldn't stand a chance. But like, that is like one thing that's like kind of insane that like Kaiju, director Shinomiya brought up, and like the rest of the military dudes are fucking idiots for like not like bringing up or talking about. They named 3 kaiju in the matter of like 2 weeks.
Very true.
You know what I
Like
mean?
if that's not like an emerging crisis,
A
like I don't know
very,
why they're
very
not.
emerging, like quickly emerging crisis. Yeah, 3 named kaiju when there's only been 10 in history. 3 of them were named in like a span of like a couple of weeks or months.
First, like, what did they say Kaiju number 2 was from the 50s or the 60s? Like,
I think so. And the
so
problem is
like a
too is that these are humanoid. Kaiju number 2 that we saw wasn't. He was just a normal kaiju. It couldn't speak, and it wasn't like
big ass
Kafka or
monster.
yeah, it wasn't like any of the other ones that we're seeing
And
now.
like I feel like in these last 2 weeks, especially after the invasion of number 10, we have not seen any like red flags or like any urgency from the defense force. It feels like they're just like, oh, yep, another day. Even though, like you said, we got 3 named kaijus in a couple weeks, and their performance, I'm not hating, but like they've been caught kind of like with their pants down. Like they haven't been ready. Like they've been on the back foot and like trying to resist this at the recruitment exam or whatever you want to call that, the entry exam. The Kaiju number 9 shows up and they have to react to it. And through all these incidents, if it wasn't for Kafka, they probably would have like suffered mass casualties, or they would have lost people like Hoshina. Kaiju number 10 would have took a lot of division number 3 out with that bomb. So I feel like if you like stand back and look at the facts, you're exactly right. They're dumb as hell for not being like, yo, we're getting like outmatched recently. Like let's like, I don't know, change our game plan, or like make Kafka the man because we obviously need him.
Yeah, especially because like the crazy thing is too is that they're talking about Kaiju 2, and they're like, we lost 3 division captains from that Kaiju. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And again, you look at the difference between Kaiju 10, Kaiju 8 to Kaiju 2. You know, that's a massive difference, at least I think. So imagine the bloodshed when you have Kaiju 9, Kaiju 10, probably Kaiju 11 and 12. You know what I mean? How many captains are you going to lose? Like, you guys are not, like, mobilizing. You're just standing, like, completely still. Like, what do you like? You gotta like get on that, like you were saying. And that's like what's crazy and like what I'm interested to see because like I want to see how these captains like how strong they are. Like Hoshina, he's sick, but like he doesn't stand a chance against Kafka. You know what I mean? And I know he's not a
I
captain, but like
agree.
even Mina, I don't think stands a chance. We saw that if she fires a couple of shots, that's it. She can't do any more. And I mean, the blows that Kafka took from Kaiju 2 or from director Shinomiya, like, I feel like Kafka would be able to make do against Mina. So then
I
it's like,
totally agree. He
yes,
like had his legs blown off. He like literally had like holes in his chest that were like fatal. We've seen he can remove
mm-hmm.
his core. There's nothing that we've seen from Mina. Tiger aside, we haven't seen the Tiger in action.
Yeah,
But
that
like,
tiger might go off.
I don't think her or Hoshina stand a chance. I think Hoshina much less. I think he would get diced up pretty quick if Kafka was like really serious or he lost control or something.
Oh, without a
I'm
doubt, yeah.
interested to see too, like if this is the kind of manga or anime where like they're gonna kill off main characters. I
Like
am
some
still
Akame
traumatized
ga Kill
from
shit. Fuck yeah, I hope
yeah,
so.
or some
I
like
hope so.
Jujutsu Kaisen shit. That would be cool because like you fostered a really great season of like characters. They're all like pretty well written, enough backstory that like it's like all right, I can get attached to this guy or this girl,
Oh, a
and then
hundred
boom,
percent, a
just
hundred
start
percent.
clearing them out in season 2 and 3. I have no idea. I don't I guess I have gotten that vibe. Like there were some like tense moments in season 1 with like Shinomiya and Ichikawa, but with Kafka there, I feel like everybody's been saved. You know what I mean? It's been a little easier.
Yeah, the defense force haven't done shit. There definitely should be casualties, which makes me think that there's not going to be. And again, we got guys, we talked about this plenty of times. Like this stuff is great, like whenever a character dies, because it kind of like makes them more important, and it kind of makes their presence in that anime more important now that they're gone. You know what I mean? So like whenever you lose a character, like it just like it sucks, but that's what makes it better. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it like then you start really appreciating the characters you have, but you're like, oh well, Akaiju's attacking. Shit, we might lose some people. You're like, this isn't good, boys. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of like adds the hype and suspense to it. So I do hope people end up dying. I really kind of want to just like Google and be like, hey, does anyone die? But then I know Google's like, oh yeah, like X, Y, and Z dies. I'm like, fucker, like
Hey,
stop
tell
it,
us sick now. You
like
know what I mean? Like,
bastard. Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. Like it's not that hard. um,
yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. I like the horror and suspense vibes we got in season 1, but nothing has like it is only season 1, but I haven't got that vibe. Like I don't think they're prepared to kill off any of our main people. That's just my guess though.
Yeah, and I'm also excited too. Like, let's see also some more of the other division captains. Seeing that division captain from Division One, very cool. He looks sick. I want to see how strong he is because, like we said, we think that Kafka can really kind of hold his own against Mina. Hoshina will can hit stand his own against this dude. You know, what about Division Two? You know, so it's gonna be really cool to see kind of how this plays out, especially because we're gonna see like Division Three get broken up. So we're gonna be seeing these division captains more as they're moving around. Well, the by people I mean like the officers moving around between the different divisions.
Hmm.
But yeah, dude, I'm stoked. It's gonna be sick. I seriously can't wait. Like I said, I think because of everything happening, the way it's been built up, and the now the brakes are off. You know what I mean? Now sky's the limit. There's no restrictions. You can just go with it. It's gonna be one of the best animes that come out.
And like I'm definitely not one to like buy into the hype. Like I'll check something out if there's a lot of hype for it, but I feel like Kaiju delivered in every way. This was a fucking awesome season. Everything from the animation, the fighting, like the horror scenes, the music. It was pretty perfect. So, yeah, I have no reason to believe season 2 won't be another 10 out of 10.
Dude, oh my god, that was the ending. The nobody's got you the way I like. Dude, we're all waiting for that. We're all waiting for that at the end, the cliffhanger
Yes.
for that, and it just didn't happen. And we're like, ah, come on, bro, I'm gonna miss that. I really am.
That- It's always a bittersweet thing. I remember that from like so many different animes. Like a
Mhm.
good intro and outro, like when you lose it, it's like ah. But
Yeah.
hopefully they come in with some more good tunes.
Oh, dude, I bet that they will. But dude, speaking of just absolute holy shit, Demon Slayer, yo,
Insane, dude.
all those
Insane.
bitter fucking little ants on in the comment sections about Demon Slayer. Oh my god, see this new season. oh my god, it's filler. Oh my god, it sucks. Oh my god, it's carried by animation. Dude, like they're just like eat shit, dude. Just it's so good. Like this episode was phenomenal. I mean, I was surprised by the way. Yeah, Muzan let that dude talk as long as he did. I mean, he went and just gave his like he stood on his soapbox and just went on and on and on. I'm like, Muzan, like you gonna kill this fucking guy? Like you're just letting him ramble, and like he just didn't. Even then,
It was sick to see him like get in his head a little bit, Muzan.
bro, like he was even saying, he's like, why am I letting you talk so long? He's about to go kill him, and I was like, yeah, I've been wondering this the whole time. But then, yo, he surprised us. Like I agree with Muzan. You know, you look at that guy, like, oh wow, what a sweet, nice, respected dude. Bro, fucking killed his family just to get an advantage on Muzan. Not even to kill him, to get a slight 1 second advantage. That's all it was. That's even what Muzan said. It was a 1 second advantage. That's insane.
I had no idea he was like that either. Like he comes off as very docile because he's like sickly. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, him and his family they were ready. Like it was on site. And he did say it to Guillaume too. Like he's like, oh, in the next 5 days, my intuition. That's what he calls it, but Guillaume calls it foresight. He's like he knew Muzan was gonna show up, and he was stacked. He had that thing on him.
Yeah, I mean, holy dude, the animation for that explosion was absolutely amazing. It was
Dude, the
so
scene was
good.
incredible. And like at first when Muzan puts his hand out, I thought he like made the place explode. That was like I don't know, his demon art or something. I had no idea it was gonna be Ubayashiki like retaliating. Until like you see that
Bro.
lump of like chest flesh go out, it was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, Muzan being like all fucked up as well. I was like, bro,
So cool.
literally my notes were like holy animation, holy shit in all caps, and then Zenitsu in all caps as well. Like I was just like this entire episode was just me like freaking out. I was just like, oh my god. It was one thing after another after another. I mean, like watching them all run up to the mansion and kind of like the reactions was absolutely insane. Watching them all at the same time kind of be like, that's Muzan. Like that's what's crazy. They're Hashira and they'd never seen him before. You know what I mean? Like they either like, wait, that's him. They didn't even know. And then I love how Tanjiro is the first one to pull his sword. I love how Tanjiro is like, motherfucker, like round two.
Dude, and Tanjiro's like another like really soft, docile, like outgoing character, but like he'll flip the switch in a second. It was super cool to see them all just immediately go after him.
Yeah, I don't want to like get too far ahead here, but like when it was at the very end and like Muzan was like, "Oh, like Tanjiro, you don't stand a chance." It was just like that "Nah, I'd win" moment. He's like, "I'd see you later. Like, I'm gonna come
I
for you,
definitely will be back.
and I'm gonna fucking kill you." I was like, "Yo, like Tanjiro's a fucking badass. Like don't piss that guy off. He's a beast." And speaking of, I actually completely just forgot. Was Nezuko in the Infinity Castle? I don't remember her getting pulled in.
I don't No, I don't remember her getting pulled in either. I'm
Muzan never
not.
found her.
I don't know. I guess was she with Shinobu?
Mm. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
even.
Nezuko is there. Has anybody like realized this? I think we're all distracted by the beautiful animation and the what the fuck's going on that we completely forgot. Like, I don't think Nezuko is
I don't
there.
think she is. I don't remember her being in any of these like movie fights. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're talking about like ahead. Okay, okay.
But like I mean she's pretty strong. I wouldn't see her fighting because it's basically like upper moons now. Like I don't. I guess she could be like a good
I heard that she
supporting
has the
role, but
strength of an upper moon, like even before conquering the sun.
I don't remember her fighting to be honest. But I'm not
Because when she fought
world's greatest
Daki,
memory.
it was Daki even said it that she has the regeneration of an upper moon, and that if she's not careful, then she's gonna die. And I'm just gonna say it because I don't think that they say it in the anime. It's just kind of like side stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Nezuko can't die from the sun, and she can't die from being beheaded either. So like I think Nezuko's legitimately like an upper moon.
Yeah, like I mean, we do see it with like most of the like really strong characters. Even if you cut their head off, like they're still not gonna die right away. That's not the end of the
The
fight.
thing is, though, that what pissed me off about that is that like I saw people making like their anime podcasts or like talking about it and stuff, and they're like making fun of that. They're like, oh, dude, I'm so sick of getting into these fights and they beheaded, and everyone's like surprised. He's like, well, oh, here we go. We have to keep the fight going. But I'm like, dude, like it kind of makes sense that like the upper moons are like the stronger demons wouldn't have that same weakness as the basic bitches. You know what I mean? Like
Well, and I want to say they have more of Muzan's power. You know what
Exactly,
I
they
mean?
do.
Like,
They have a lot more of his power. They have a lot more of his blood, and they also have a lot more blood in them because they've consumed humans for hundreds of years.
yeah, they're all 100 to 400 to 1,000 years old. So like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, yeah, I think that does kind of make sense. It's like a better power structure.
If
Because like
anything,
if
yeah. Good.
like the Hashira would be invincible. You look at how they kind of jump on Muzan and fucking that scene with Guillaume, like using stone skin, super incredible. And we finally see him pull the flail out and like I guess that's what it's called. I'm just gonna call it that because it's not like
I think it's
a
funny. Go
sword.
for it.
And his like little flail, his ball and chain, literally just takes like half of Muzan's torso
Dude,
out.
he's
Just
so quick with it
incredible.
too. Like the speed he was wielding
Yeah.
it was so impressive.
There was like a couple times it's like, all right, yeah, he's definitely the strongest Hashira. I could see it now.
Yeah,
Just immediately
fucking
goes toe to
beast,
toe with Muzan.
bro. That was insane. I completely forgot what we were talking about before that though. All right, let's skip it and just go back. So yeah, going back to the beginning, that him getting captured was insane. I mean, that whole scene was incredible. But you're like, holy shit, like what's going on here? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, going back to what we are saying. I actually think it's stupid if the Upper Moon did die from being beheaded. I think that would be dumb. Like really, you're
So anticlimactic.
exactly. So I think that the whole thing that like you have to kind of like figure it out and like do some like actually like investigation and trying to like learn how to take them out with each one is like really cool because then like each fight's different. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to the beginning, Muzan getting captured was absolutely insane. I did not expect them to create a plan that would work that well. Like that was very effective.
Yeah, and like Tamayo shows up and she plays like a major part. I was just like really surprised at how like quickly they pushed Muzan to the brink. And even though like when they all rush him, he's like, "Oh, you think you've driven me into a corner?" But the Infinity Castle is kind of like a last ditch effort. He
It
wouldn't use
is,
that if he wasn't quite literally driven into a corner,
and
because otherwise he's getting diced up.
yeah, and we even said it before, like a couple episodes ago. Like Muzan's actually like kind of an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, he sat there, and she even said she's like, "Oh, you absorbed my hand. Hmm. There's maybe something in that hand." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And it was like her like poison that like really like rendered him like ineffective and stuff, and like really kind of like damaged him. Like he played right into her trap. Forget about the trap of the exploding mansion, and then you kind of have like the blood demon art that's being used on him, but like he played right into that where it's like, oh yeah, I knew you'd absorb my hand, but you don't like think, you just like do because like you think you're indestructible, you have like that ego to you, you know what I mean? So like he played right into that. She like read him like a book.
Yeah, and they kind of touch on that like air of arrogance on not just Muzan but all the Upper Moons. They kind of think they're better than everybody, which for hundreds of years, like Muzan literally says it for 1,000 years, I've never been held responsible or like been forced to be accountable for anything. So like that kind of ties in with the arrogance that they all have, and like they don't really believe that the Hashira can kill them. Despite, I mean, if you look at the series so far, we've lost Rengoku and kind of Tengen. I mean, he's not dead, but like the Hashira have definitely been doing a good job at clearing out these demons. Like if I was Muzan, I would be a little bit pressed.
Well, I think there's a difference there because there's so many things to talk about. So first of all, Daki has kills herself under her belt of killing Hashira. Like
Yeah,
Hashira have not killed any Upper Moons in like so many years. In fact, no one has killed Lower Moons in many years. That's why Muzan got so pissed off that they were instantly getting like knocked off, and he killed them all. Which is also going back to
that's true. Yeah,
when Muzan was talking to the dude. And he's like, "Actually, I think you're nice. I don't think you want to. I think you want to stay alive and be immortal because if you die, all the demons die. So I think you're actually a kind person." Bullshit, because he executed all the fucking Lower Moons because he got like upset. You know what I mean? Like he does not care about the demons at all. So I thought that
and
that
that
was stupid in that speech.
now you're definitely right. And that scene, I don't remember exactly where it is. I want to say after Mugen Train, when Akaza comes
And
back
he throws
to
the
little
sword. Yeah.
little baby boy, yeah, Muzan, and he uses whatever his blood or whatever to like agonize Akaza. But yeah, you're definitely right. He definitely has not shown any like love or respect for them. I think he does kind of go into detail a little bit about like the three Upper Moons and how he feels about them personally. I want to say in the future, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's interesting, like his disposition on. I guess you could call it his army. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
these demons, they obviously mean something to him. Kokushibo's like 400 something years old. So like, and like his lore with Yorichi being his brother and stuff, like I would say there's probably respect there versus yeah, like the lower moons who really don't mean anything to him.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's insane, but so like going back with the Hashira and stuff is that like this group of Hashira is apparently one of the strongest groups in like the longest like of times because like I said, Daki had multiple kills under her belt of killing Hashira, and none of the upper moons have been killed. So the fact that they're starting to get killed off now is kind of showing like, oh, now you need to worry, but like you can still see that he still isn't worrying, even though that he completely just got cornered. That last ditch effort to with the Infinity Castle. So like, bro's in a bad spot, and he's still thinking he's got the upper hand. The way he was talking to Tanjiro, like Tanjiro was like seriously like, nah, I'll win. Like I'm gonna see you soon. Like I'm gonna see you real soon. And like he wasn't like phased. He wasn't scared that like, hey, the Infinity Castle's all you got, and you have like the strongest group of Hashira in a while, all there. Like you kind of screwed yourself by doing that as well.
And even like the younger demon slayers, like the supporting cast, I guess you could say, like they're falling into. And for me, like the for Tanjiro to be using sun breathing, like I know Muzan does like fear that obviously from his like 1 or 2 fights with Yorichi, I guess. He knows like what Tanjiro can do, and like the earrings I think is like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like he knows, but it's that air of arrogance. Like he just doesn't want to admit like he's definitely under pressure and he's been outsmarted. Like I don't think he thought Ubayashiki would do anything. He would just sit idly by and accept his death. But it was really cool to see that kind of like plot twist. And now his back's against the wall, and like yeah, like you said, he has to allow them into his like domain, and
Yeah.
they have to defend rather than being like on the offensive.
Yeah, instead of just dropping, demons at certain villages like they did in the last season, and trying to take them
Right.
out, now it's like, oh, well, we got to go all against all. You know what I mean? We got to go all the upper moons against all the Hashira and hope for the best here. And that's where things are really going to get insane and really kind of get crazy. And not only is Tanjiro, like, not I'd win, but, like, Zenitsu, when he came down, seeing him,
Locked in.
bro, like, he had his sword and he had his eyes closed. You're like, oh, tired Zenitsu. And I actually think that that was a huge, 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 huge piece of symbolism. Him opening his eyes. Because he's like, I'm not asleep for this one. I'm awake. I'm not scared. I'm not complaining. I'm here to fucking kill. Like he's ready to go. Like he's
That
ready.
that total 180 is so cool to see because like Zenitsu's a great character, even though he can kind of be a clown all the
Mm-hmm.
time. Like he still is really cool. He has his moments, but like seeing him make that transformation is like so rewarding as a viewer. And also like I think if you like step back and look at the plot and kind of like how this whole season came about with all the training and you know what I mean, like it intensifies as they get, as Muzan ends up showing up. And like everything was really well written to me. Like Muzan kind of shows up by chance, but Ubayashiki knew he was going to be there. So like they are to an extent prepared for him to show up, and like they do execute well and literally put his back against the wall. So like I could see how you may have not enjoyed the first 2, 3, 4 episodes of the season, but like seeing how as a whole it was really well written, at least in my opinion. And hopefully after that last episode, people are like, all right, yeah, that's why Demon Slayer fucking rocks.
Dude, and like this is what I've been saying that Demon Slayer should do from the very beginning. Have that stretch of time where you're actually taking your time, developing the story, progressing things along, and then when you get into the fights, you're into the fights. You know what I mean? It's straight up fight, like let's go, and then everything, is said and done there. And I feel like that since they've actually like done that this time, like it's like really paid off. Like I even like if you're complaining about the first couple episodes, I can't even have your back on that. Like, I know you're saying like, oh yeah, like I can understand. Like I don't. Like it wasn't like there was anything there that was like extremely boring. There's so many great moments. Like if you didn't like the first couple episodes, then you don't like Demon Slayer. It's plain and simple. Like some of those moments were phenomenal. Seeing those interactions and seeing like some of the Hashira was great. We learned a lot. It was a lot of like great times. Like if you didn't like that, then you straight up just don't like the show. You just watch it because like it's popular.
Especially with the last 2 seasons and everything they've been through so like consistently, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean, between the entertainment district and the Swordsmith Village. Like we needed a break, you know what I mean? Otherwise it's literally not much of a story. It's just fight scenes. So I definitely agree with you. I
Yeah.
think it was much needed. And like I like my action just as much as everybody else, but like that whole build up all season to like that one, I don't know, 20-minute scene of combat was like so rewarding. And that's like why you watch.
Mm-hmm.
It hit like a truck.
dude, like everything just came together, and then you're seeing all the Hashira, dude, like we wouldn't have the same appreciation for the Stone Hashira if it wasn't for seeing his episodes. You know what I mean? Same thing with Sanemi,
Yeah,
same
true
thing with
that.
Obanai, same thing with all of them. It would not be the same. You know that whole scene where the Stone Hashira coming in and just swinging that and taking his top half off. It was so rewarding because we know what he's been through. We know him now. You know what I mean? We got his backstory. We kind of like have gone like interactions with him. It's kind of like seeing him. It's like yes, bro. Like you deserve that. Kill that son of a bitch. Like
Hell yeah.
for the kids, man. Like it's like, bro. You just need it. And like if you like hate that stuff, then like again like. It's like really sad, but like people do that. People are just like, oh, it's popular, so I need to be like everybody else and watch it, and then they force themselves to it, and then they're fucking negative about it for no reason. It's like that's what kind of what society's come to these days, and it's like fucking stupid.
It's so easy to hate on anything. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, you're exactly right. That's a big part of our society, and I feel like anime and obviously like watching like VTubers and shit. Like, there's these weird like niches where like people go to escape or like be creative and like literally not think about the world and like the price of groceries and you know what I mean, politics. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna actually hate here too. It's like,
Yeah,
brother, we have that everywhere. Like, just
exactly.
enjoy the, just enjoy it. You know what I mean? And
Like,
like Demon Slayer's so rich with like everything, animation, like
oh,
good characters, fights. That would definitely not be the hill I die on.
yeah, for real. Like we listen. We make our stances. We down a lot of hills. Okay, we make our points. We explain our
True.
points, and then we go to war with it. Okay, but like the thing is that like it's just so easy to admit though. Like I even talked to you and told you before we even started this. Like I'm dropping, what is it, Jobless Reincarnation, very popular episode, anime. Everyone talks about it.
Damn.
It's just gotten to a point where like I'm just not really enjoying it. So instead of sitting here being a little crabby, whiny bitch about it and like, oh my god, it sucks, I hate it. Okay, just stop watching it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. It makes perfect, like just do that. Why do you have to like sit there and like follow everybody else and then be an absolute tool and be like, oh my god, this sucks, that sucks. It's like you're just a douche. Like it makes no sense, but like that's what it's gone to. And like I feel like all the hate Demon Slayer gets is 100% those people. It makes no sense.
I could definitely see that. Plus, I like in music, you know what I mean? People hate on popular music or whatever's on the radio, et cetera, et cetera. You're definitely right. Instead of like focusing on what's popular, listen to what you enjoy, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
watch what you enjoy. If it's rom-coms, baby, dive in. There's 1,000. If you like isekais, watch them. You know what I mean? And like shonen is very easy to hate because it's kind of like was always at the forefront with the big three and all that. I feel like that's kind of what we were fed. At least like growing up, I was always fed like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball, like then Bleach and Naruto, like very standard progression of like anime into my, depravity now where I'm, you know what I mean? Like, but just watch what you like and like it becomes more enjoyable. Like your journey does not have to be like super linear, like Naruto and Dragon Ball, or if you want to watch weird shit.
Yeah, and
Just
like
enjoy it. Oh,
there's like multiple things. Like I feel like you're allowed to like disagree with certain things. Like there's a lot of like sort of hate that Naruto gets, but like it's understandable. Like if you're a fan of the show, you'll like be like, yeah, like you dragged out the war arc, and then like the very end of it was like rushed. Like that makes sense. You complain about that. Like there's certain people, like again, a lot of people with Demon Slayer that just complain about absolutely everything and that just hate every little thing it does. Oh, it's just all combat focused. Oh, we hate that. Okay, you focus on the story. Oh, well, this sucks. It's boring. You know
it's
what I
too
mean?
slow.
So
Yeah.
it's like that, and like what you're saying about like, oh, shonen's easy to hate. I feel like shonen's only easy to hate because so many people dick ride it so much. I say that all the time. That so many people get into anime because of shonen, and that's all they watch, and they refuse to watch anything else. So because of that, it's the same recycled shit. It's the same thing with any genre. Like I got really into isekais, and then I'm like, this is all the same stuff. Same thing with shonen. Eventually, I guess I was gonna be that with romance animes. Not with drama animes though. Those fucking slap. Those are so goddamn good.
Hell
But
yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like if you just stick to one genre, like yes, like you're gonna get tired of it. Like believe it or not. And sadly, that's why I think shonen would get a lot of hate because you have people that religiously watch shonen and nothing else. That's why like shonen wins anime of the year every goddamn year.
Very good point. And like I even know from being like a day one on Jujutsu Kaisen, if you were there on the subreddit for Lobotomy Kaisen, you understand. It was a tough time. we enjoy the story to a certain extent, but like I literally just have taken a couple weeks off from like reading it and constantly like engaging myself in these fucking crackpot theories and like I don't know. It's like you step away from it, it's like, yeah, it's a pretty good show, all things considered. But yeah, it's easy to get stuck in that same genre or same rut. And like I'm like that with music too. Like you got to mix it up and branch out. And sometimes let Spotify suggest you hentai music or whatever, hentai bitch or whatever it's called.
Bro, the song's like, it's so good.
A banger.
I don't know what else to say, man. Like, there's some bars in there where it's like, damn. It's like I'd want to play some right now, but like I feel like we get in trouble on YouTube. But yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's just insane. And like, listen, guys, we're about to hit a low part in the year. We're about to like have a very slow season. Honestly, kind of relieved. I've been binging anime like a fat fucking degenerate. It's been really bad. Like my anime intake has been insane. Like I have not slept. It has been brutal. But listen, boys, that's not gonna stop. I'm gonna still find ways to binge everything in summer season. But anyways, I have a video coming out later this week about Hulu. They're doing some great things. There's a lot of great animes on there. We're gonna talk about them. So if you want more anime to watch, especially now that the summer season is gonna die down, I recommend checking that out. You might find a couple titles on there that will going to interest you. Also, this is a great time to go back because we just had a very stacked season. The season before that was pretty good too, and there's some animes that we've like missed. You know what I mean? Or that like in general, like people like you just haven't seen everything. So this is a great time to go back and catch up. Like I know we're going back and we're gonna refinish Konosuba, Bartender. I know for me, the Newgate, I ended up stopping that halfway through because I was just busy. I also want to see Doctor Elise. That was from 2 seasons ago, and that seemed like it was really good too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did hear that was really good. I feel like I have like 3 or 4 animes that I'm like almost all the way through the season, so like
Yeah,
just gotta wrap these up. But I think we did a good job. You want to steel yourself for the slow times and like have some stuff to watch. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You don't want to overdo it, but it's hard at times not to overdo it.
Oh, bro, it's just so much fun to overdo it. I don't know what to say, man. This shit's
Right?
great. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, it's gonna be missed, but like, I'm excited to see kind of what is even gonna come out this summer season. It's so scarce and so slow that I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything popped up, and I haven't seen anyone
Very
talk about it.
quiet.
Like, I don't even know if there's even gonna be 1 or 2 animes that we can even watch. I hope Hulu comes out with something. I'm gonna be checking that. That's for damn sure. But end of the year should be a lot better. But absolute phenomenal week. A very sad week that I feel like we haven't come down from yet. We're gonna feel it though in the next couple of days. But fuck boys, it's been one. The greatest anime season has come to a close, and
I know. I feel so spoiled, dude. Like I can't complain, but that the depression will be on the pod next week for sure. I'll be like, oh, I missed it. It's only 1 week, but at least we ate good for a very long time.
no, we did. We're gonna have the Tokyo Ghoul music to outro us here.
Yeah, perfect. Spot on.
But
Hell yeah.
that's it, boys. Blake, you got anything else you want to say?
Have an excellent week. Make sure you watch those episodes because it's worth every second. Outstanding week.
Yo, phenomenal week. But that is it, boys. Hopefully, summer brings us some good stuff. But if not, hey, it's the time to relax and then binge other shit that we haven't been able to binge. But that is it. Have a good week and peace.